Well, we should start off with some listener feedback.
Ooh, my favorite segment.
Yeah.
What we got, Bacon?
Well, nothing from Jamie this week.
Okay.
I think her. We haven't released the episode yet, but her feedback from the last episode is in the Hall of Fame.
You know what? That's kind of got to be frustrating, right?
Yeah.
To submit something and only to have it answered 6 weeks later.
Yeah. So, first one is, Dear Podcast Boys, just dropping a note to let you know how great your interview with Sarah from Willing Warriors was. It was a different tone than your other interviews, but the questions were great. Sarah showed she's very committed to the cause, and I think everyone that listened learned something. I know I learned a lot about their cause and plan on coming to the Classic Car Show in July. Sweet. All the best, Theodore.
Yes.
Nice.
Theodore, can't wait to see you.
Ted Theodore Logan.
Yeah.
Another feedback thing was actually Matty D. We saw him last Tuesday.
He wrote us?
He didn't write us, but he gave me verbal feedback.
Okay.
When we were at your party last week, he said, hey, man, I was just letting you know I caught up to all the episodes, and I still think mine's the best.
Shocker figure.
And then the other one, hey, guys, I'm just catching up on the episodes, and this is one for you, Tim. I'm curious what the name of the song is that Tim and Brian performed where Bacon called Tim Pastor Tim. Was that a school song or an otherwise popular song that I'm not sure of?
Oh.
And Tim?
Well, that is Stomp
It is.
by Kirk Franklin, right?
Wow. Elephant brain.
Look at that.
Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yep.
Stomp.
There you go.
He ended his email.
Pastor Tim. I love it.
He ended his email.
are you with me?
In real life, I mean, you are a great guy, but you're not a pastor.
No, I am far from that.
I was about to say, am I missing something?
Yes,
Does I
exactly.
not know what you do during your
I
days?
am far from that. Lord, I apologize.
Okay.
I pastor on the weekends.
Exactly. In my free time.
Yeah, he ends the email, warm regards, TJ.
Oh.
But I don't think he meant warm regards to us. I think it was an auto, like his signature that was already there.
Oh, like a chat GPT, please help me send this.
No, I mean
Warm
like
regards.
his signature on the bottom. Like, some phones they sent from my iPhone or whatever.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's
Tim,
his.
just accept that his regards are warm.
I like it.
Lukewarm.
Just
at
feel
best.
them.
No, it
Feel
doesn't
them
say.
take you over.
It would be funny if it was lukewarm regards.
Tepid.
Actually, I might be doing that.
This is PODCASTNV.
You've got some breaking news for us.
Oh, I do have some breaking news. Breaking news. So I got an email today, unsolicited email, from a website called feedspot.com, and they let us know that we are in the top 10 podcasts
I saw
in Virginia.
that today.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's incredible.
That's the wrong one.
So close.
Do you have like the crowd go wild button?
There it is.
Yeah.
The funny thing is they're labeled, and I always hit the wrong one.
Excellent.
He's just a big dumb animal, isn't he, folks?
I tell you, I need the pad.
Yeah, so we're number 7 on their top 10 list.
How awesome is that? Look at us.
I saw that. Isn't that
Who would've
wild?
thought?
I know.
Who would have thought?
Not me.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. We're going for number 1.
Yeah,
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who we have to pay off, but we're going to work it.
We're going to make it happen.
His name is Anaj.
All right.
Well, warm regards, Podcast Envy.
We are pleased today. We're doing a special interview podcast today. A local musician who plays around the area and works around the area. And we are excited to have her today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mackenzie Ryan.
Woo!
How are you today, Mackenzie?
I'm great. How y'all?
Another beautiful, sunny summer day.
I know.
It's going to be like this all week.
It's about time.
I feel
All
like
summer.
this is your season.
I know. This is when I flourish.
Yeah. Rooftop parties.
Oh, yeah. Peacock comes out,
Yep.
It's like, oh, yeah. Sign me up for that all day.
Brian understands.
So we'll just dive right in, if you don't mind.
Let's do it.
Do you have a splash sound effect? Bloop.
No.
Okay. I can bloop.
That's a good idea, though.
Didn't you have something like that, though? Wasn't there like some kind of,
It should be like, belly flop.
like a single sound? It was like a,
No, that wasn't it.
that might work.
It's not this one.
He's just going to share all his sounds with you now.
So where were you born and raised? Are you from this area or are you from elsewhere?
I was born in Alexandria, Alexandria, Virginia, and then I was raised in Ashburn, Virginia.
Cool.
Went to school out there, everything.
Everything. Yep. I went to Broad Run High School. Shout out Spartans.
All right.
But yeah, went to Broad Run. Then I went to George Mason, right
Nice.
down the street. So born and
Nice.
raised completely.
Wow.
Yep.
Love it.
Timmy went to George
I
Mason.
did.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Like in 1970.
Oh,
Sorry. No.
That third number was a 7.
Give or take.
Honestly, you look fantastic.
Ew. Whatever you're doing, what's your skincare regimen?
I'm younger than you, and I get called the old.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
Should I call you out? Grad date or grad year?
so I graduated in 2006.
oh my God.
From college. That's not bad.
That's not bad. What was yours?
I was like 15 then. But
Okay.
Not a big deal. No, I
No,
was
that's not too far off. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
2013, but I did like a 5-year thing.
Huh? Okay.
I kept dropping out and
Yeah.
getting back in and dropping out and getting back in.
Just
What are you looking at me for?
Doing this podcast makes me feel old, man. Oh, man.
Talk to Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah. I could because, we're about the same age. So did you do music in high school or college or anything like that?
No, actually, so a lot of people are like, oh, you're probably, born with your voice or whatever. No, I was terrible. Like I was not very good. And then I showed some interest in middle school for a play. My mom was like, well, it was a musical. She was like, you got to sing, right? And I was like, yeah, but how hard could it be? And it was bad. It was so bad. They casted me as a shapoopy dancer instead. And I was heartbroken. And I was like, no, I can do this. I swear. And she was like, all right, let's do, voice lessons. Let's get into it. And I started working my ass off. Can I swear?
Oh, yeah, whatever you want.
I started, fuck, shit. No, I'm just kidding. I started working my absolute ass off. And I just did all these lessons. I had a great teacher. She really got me. She spoke my language, and we
English?
English, but like a really weird version of it. Because she wasn't like, oh, this
Ashburn.
is an A, this is a C. She was actually out this way. I worked really hard, got all ready, and then still didn't get cast for anything. And then in high school, I was kind of embarrassed to try out for anything. Didn't really have the best high school experience, but my mom was like, you got to do it. Because at that point, I'd been working so hard and it started to sound okay. And I tried out for Les Mis and got casted as Fantine. And it was one of the coolest experiences ever.
Wow.
Very, very cool.
It was singing and acting.
Singing and acting, and acting was interesting. Because I was so unsure about myself, and I don't
You're
know.
really
It was,
putting yourself out there.
and it was, and I wasn't friends with any of the drama people, and they all had their cliques. And
Oh, yeah.
here I come, and I get like one of the lead roles, and that went over really well. I'm sure you can imagine. But we ended up all like warming up to each other. But it was, it was cool.
Yeah, it was like that in my high school too. The drama kids were very cliquey, and most of them knew what part they were going to get even before they auditioned.
Yeah. And I think I was like that black card, you
Yeah.
know, and they were just like, what?
Yeah.
But it was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was that the only play that you did?
It was, yeah. That was like one and done. That was my junior year, I think. But like, I mean, when I say like I was nervous and it was so out of like my comfort zone, there was one show night where I had a death scene. I had to die. And they taught me, they were like, because I was laying in a bed, and they were like, put your hand underneath the blanket so you can breathe. So you can like actually, not die.
Oh, yeah, and not look like you're breathing.
Yeah. And I didn't do that. And I like my grandma was there, my parents were
That was
there.
like the one thing you didn't do.
The one thing I needed to do and I didn't. I literally held my breath for like 2.5 minutes. And I was like, I got off stage and like the rigor had set in. And I was like this, and my everything turned blue and I couldn't move. And I had a panic attack, and I guess like I don't know what happened, but like I was just in
You were hanging on to that.
My
You
grandma
let it
had to
go.
come backstage. Like my director had to come backstage, and he was like, "What happened?" I was like, "I wasn't breathing. I died.
I messed up.
I didn't do the bubble."
Brian does that after some gigs, so we totally understand.
So that way you can't tell how big I actually am.
Yeah, exactly.
Just hold it out.
I'm like, just hold your hands there, and he never does it. So
Tim tries to hold my hand sometimes when we sing, but we end up settling for
Oh, how
feet.
cute is
wow,
Yeah.
I mean, just showing that we had the time of our lives.
Yeah.
you know.
Meanwhile, I'm behind him, not feeling left out at all.
No. But you know what I like to do is I like to throw your names in the songs.
Yeah, that makes me feel
So
special.
I try to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
We're just here to have a good time.
I guess.
Sweet.
We have so many questions.
Okay.
So when did you pick up the guitar?
That's the question I was going to ask.
That's another funny story. So that happened. I think I was like 16 or something. I went to Guitar Center with my mom, and she was just like, "What are we doing here?" And I was like, "I think I want to play guitar." She was like, her flashbacks were like, "Oh fuck, like this is gonna be the same thing as her voice, you know."
Yeah,
and she was like,
thing.
"Okay," so she got me like a $100 Yamaha, acoustic,
Smart.
and I, just because she wasn't sure,
Right.
so I took it home and I like tried to play it, and I was like, "Mom, I think I got it." So I sit down at the kitchen table, and it was my mom and her sister, and I played, and she literally looked. The look on her face was the same look in the car when I tried to sing, and she was like, "No," and she was like, "This isn't for you." And I was like, damn, okay. That's all I needed to hear. And then it was like, I used to hang out in my
You're
garage.
like, I'm going to prove her wrong.
I'm going to prove her wrong. And she and not that she didn't have confidence, but her and I's relationship is so interesting. She knows what to say to get my gears going in like the best way possible, and it just kickstarted this fire. And I was like, you know what? I do suck, but I'm going to like really try.
Yeah.
And it didn't click for a long time. It didn't click for a couple years. And then finally, like one day I was sitting out with my dog and I was just like, I'm going to stop thinking about it. And I just started playing and I was like,
And then it feels good. And you're
this
like,
feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember playing for her again. And she was like, not like, oh, that's so, she was like, keep working. And I was like, fuck. So I don't know. Yeah. 16-ish was around the time. I started out playing piano first, and I think that helped because I can't read music, and I should be able to with the amount of classes I've had. I just don't understand it, but I can hear it, and piano was a little bit easier for me. So I think guitar was kind of like that problem child where I was like, oh, I actually like really have to spend time on this, and this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
it's different maps.
oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So was your mom always that driving force kind of pushing you into that kind of stuff? Or?
For sure. Yeah. Like her and my dad like really exposed my sister and I to everything. And then whatever we gravitated towards, they were like, okay, we'll invest or we'll, push you in that direction. But her and I are very much so on the same wavelength. We really get each other, and she just gets me. So she knows what to say, and she knew what she was doing. I don't know if she does or not. She's crazy sneaky.
She's just gotten lucky a lot of times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so.
What were some of your like some of the artists you listened to when you were younger and that kind of influenced like what you play now?
Great question. The first memory I have was seeing Karen Carpenter. She had a big effect on me because her voice was just, obviously just incredible, and she could play the drums, and she just did all this cool, like she ate a banana on stage because she was pissed that they made her lip sync. Like she was just such a badass. Like she was just so cool, and she just was angelic in a way that just made me gravitate towards her. So that was like that was one of those moments you just don't forget. And then my mom and my dad exposed me to like a lot of Beatles, like a lot of old school stuff, like James Dean, I was about to say Ricky Martin. Not Ricky Martin.
Living the Vida Loca.
I mean, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra,
Yeah.
and
The standards. Yeah.
yeah, just the standards and the the Rolling Stones. And my dad wasn't like a big music person, but like he loved like the Doors, and that was like a cool little interlude to me because that led me to like a lot of like that style music, like Pink Floyd and all that.
Mind opening.
Yeah, I was like, what? What? This is so cool.
Playing instruments in strange ways. Any King Crimson?
I mean, yeah, how can you not? But not anything that I would be like, that was a pivotal moment for me.
Yeah.
No, it was more like the Beatles. It was more Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. I don't know. Yeah.
Just like the super chill. You can't go wrong with Led Zeppelin.
No. And there was always music going on in my house at all times. So like there was always something out, and I was like, who is this? What is this? What is it? My mom would be like, oh, this is. But Karen Carpenter definitely was like a huge Mom and the Papas. Oh, man.
You said Pink Floyd, and I'm going to go off on a tangent. Did you guys ever see or watch The Wizard of Oz with Pink Floyd? So you turn the volume down on Wizard of Oz. At the second lion roar, you turn on Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
No
and
way.
it fits perfectly
Like
with the movie.
the tempo.
The tempo, what's happening in the movie matches the music on the album. It's crazy.
What?
You should do it. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard of that.
I've never done that.
Can we do it on the next podcast?
Sure.
That would be awesome.
What was your first gig in the area? What was your first break?
I was a bartender at Alamo Draft House in Ashburn. And this was, I think I had just graduated college. Yeah. Just graduated college. I had a really cool manager, and it was when I was starting to get really comfortable singing and playing. And I was like, hey, you want to let me play on the patio one day? And he was like, well, we can't pay you. I can't pay you, but could you pack the patio? And I was like, for sure. So it was maybe a 20-person patio. It was a random Saturday in the afternoon. And I did my first show, and I think it was only 2 hours long, but obviously packed the patio. And I was just talking to Rook about this over the weekend. I played at Alamo Patio and then walked across the street to Bar Louie because I was kitty corner, and Rook was playing. And so this was literally over a decade ago. And he was playing on the stage, and right as I walked in, I had a girlfriend with me, and he was walking up to the bar, and he ordered a shot of whiskey. And I'm not tonight, but I'm a huge whiskey person. And I looked over and I was like, I think I would be friends with that guy. Not that I wanted. I was like, I think I'm going to be friends with him.
Did you hear him play?
No,
Oh,
this
okay.
this was before I heard him play.
Okay.
And I just walked right up to him and I was like, "What's up, bro?" And you guys, the look he gave me, he was just like,
You're just so friendly.
I know, seriously. I just and I had just played my first show, and I was all
you're on a
excited.
high. Sure.
And I was like, yeah, I just had some whiskey, and I was just like, hey, bro. And he was just like, hi. And I was like, I literally was like, I think we're going to be friends. And he was like, cool.
Awkward.
Yeah, it was it was so awkward. And I was like, I just played a show across the street. It was really fun. Meanwhile, knowing Rook, he probably had just played 3 shows that day. And he was just like, okay, cool. And I was like, are you drinking whiskey? And he was like, yeah, it's in my glass. I was like, oh my God. Okay, so you're a tough cookie.
That's that
silly
Jack
Pinocchio.
White song. That's that Jack White song. Is think that we are gonna be friends.
Yeah.
It was so embarrassing. Yeah.
So did you get a paid gig at the Alamo?
No. So
So no
you're
parlay.
they were
I did
so
great. Everybody
happy.
loved it.
But I think
They were
maybe
like,
being a big
"Hey,
corporate
guys."
thing, they just can't.
We can keep getting her to play, and we don't have to pay.
Exactly.
Literally. Yeah.
It's for the exposure.
Yeah, so that didn't happen again. I think my next gig after that was Parallel Wine and Whiskey.
Nice
And
spot.
that was cool. And then I moved to New York City, so that was kind of done. But yeah,
Wow. How long
Yeah.
were you in New York City?
about 4 years.
What?
Yeah.
And you actually got to walk in the New York fashion show?
How'd you know that?
I'm good like that.
Did you do your research?
We have
Oh,
researchers.
I did. I walked in New York City.
So
Fashion
how
Week.
did you get into that?
This talent person reached out to me on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, this is not. No, it's
real.
not." And she was like, "No, I'm really real." She's like, "Let's get on a call." Because she was actually from down here, and she was like, "I saw you when you played music."
At the Alamo.
It was a sold out show. You didn't get paid for it. It was really weird. But I was like, okay. And she was like, "Do you want to? You live up there? Do you want to walk in a show?" And I was like, have you seen me walk? I know you saw me play, but have you seen me walk? I was like, no. I was like, are you sure? And she was like, absolutely. And I was like, I'm going to go throw up. Yes, I'll do it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane. It was very cool.
Was that the reason why you moved to New York?
No. So I was dating a guy at the time that moved to New York, and it was like, I went up to visit him a lot, and I didn't even really like New York City. I liked it visiting wise, but I was like, who could live here? And then he showed me all the cool, spots, and he had really awesome friends. And I was like, I think I want to do this for a year, just to do it. And my parents were like, we'll support you for a year. Just go do it. Just see if anything happens. And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah, they were just so happy I finished college. And they're like, we'll support you. Go try to get a job, or go do music, or go do something. And then at the end of the year, if nothing comes out of it or whatever, you'll move home. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Fast forward. Yeah, didn't move back after a year, but it was tough, but I loved it. I tried to play music, but it was really difficult. I mean, at one point I was like, maybe I should just go busk on the streets, but my mom was like, please don't do that.
Was it tough to get gigs, or was it tough to find places that had live music like the style that you were trying to play?
Yeah, exactly. Both. I mean, it was very difficult. I mean, I found more shows like in Hoboken or like Brooklyn, but New York City was just very difficult. But I did end up playing Webster's Hall.
Nice.
Which was really freaking cool. And I think the next night, it was like the next night or the night after, Frank Ocean played there. So I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, this
I
is
peaked.
good. This is good. I peaked.
I'll take it.
Let's go. I'm good. Yeah. So that was, New York was a great experience.
So it sounds like you checked off a couple bucket list items when you were in New York.
Oh, for sure.
So what are your current bucket list items?
Bucket list would be to play a ticketed show where I only play my original music.
Yes,
That's a good
because
one.
that's how you roll.
Because that's how I roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, with maybe some like a couple covers in there that I feel like I've made my own, but like mainly two. I've got two. I'll give you two.
Good.
A solo show or like with a band, playing my own original stuff. And then also, which this one is kind of coming to fruition right now, playing with a band where it's like a party kind of atmosphere.
And this is coming to fruition.
Yeah. So I think I finally found a band.
Really?
Yeah. Which
Oh,
I'm
that's
very excited
right.
about.
Yeah, you've been kind of meeting with different artists on and off for
Are you
the last
sitting?
2 years.
Are they sitting at the table right now with you?
I wish. Oh my God.
Just checking.
Yeah. No. I wish, but no. So
They're downstairs ready to storm up.
They're outside. Can we bring them in?
Come on in, fellas.
No, they're cool dudes. They're called the Kane Band, but I think they go by Nova Kane.
Like a Frank Ocean song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is, I think, one of the signs I was like, this might actually happen. I went to one of their practices. I sang with them. Their current singer moved to Texas. So yeah, it's kind of happening. I'm like really excited.
Very cool.
It's amazing.
So that's definitely a bucket list.
So you established that you kind of kicked off a relationship there with Rook, and you guys eventually became buddies.
We did.
Right? And you guys are really tight. You all put out a recording, which was pretty cool. It was a medley of two different songs. It was Times Like These.
Child
and
of Times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about
call
that.
it.
How did that come about?
That was so cool. So I have to shout out Sleepy Hollows, or Hollow Studio, or Sleepy Hollow Studio. They go by a couple
This
different things.
Hollow Sleepy, I
Hollow
think is the
Sleepy,
Instagram.
yeah.
But yeah, Sleepy Hollow.
Oh my God, dude. That was one of the coolest experiences ever. So Rook was like, hey, I have this idea. Would you want to like, I don't know, sing with me on a mashup at a really cool studio? And I was like, say less.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you have in mind? And it just came to fruition. I was so nervous, like, cause I hadn't really spent a lot of time in the studio. And I just remember, oh my God, I think I was sweating so much and I had like a flannel on and my mom was like, take the flannel off. She wasn't there, but she was like, don't wear your fucking flannel. And I was like, I'm nervous and I don't want to sweat through my shirt.
I don't want them to see it.
Oh my God, no, but it was really cool. And they're so talented over there at that studio. And they did a video and the vocals were crazy. And yeah, that was a really cool experience.
And what kind of reaction did you get from it?
I have the video on my website and I put it on social media and there's so many people are like, you gotta get in the studio. Like you sound so good. Like
Everybody
on this.
wants a piece of the octopus now.
I tell you.
Yeah.
I know. So I got a really good response from it. I actually just recorded something with them maybe like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were back in there again.
I was back in there again, and they haven't finished it yet because they had a couple big projects kind of on the queue, but I think it's coming out soon.
Can
it's
you
gonna be
tease
great.
it? What is
Yeah,
it?
I mean it was another request for covers, so I think I did a Mountjoy cover, and then what was my second?
You did
song?
Gnarls Barkley.
Gnarls Barkley mashed up with Isaac.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I wasn't.
So.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there for
It was
part
so
of it.
fun. Yeah.
And so I saw the first one that you did, but I
Which
didn't
was a
see the second
Mountjoy
one.
song
Yeah.
called Bathroom Light,
Yep.
which is like, I'm a big Mountjoy person. So that was very cool. I heard that song for the first time and I was like, I could have wrote this. They talk about astronauts going to the bar
And your voice fits it so beautifully.
oh, it's so good.
Your version was the first that I'd heard of it, or your take on it. And now that I listen to the original, I'm like, that's okay, but I like the way that you do it
I
better.
know, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys know, like you hear a song and you're just like, oh, fuck, why
just
didn't I
hits
think
you.
of that?
Yeah.
And that was one of the songs.
That's kind of how our name came about.
Really?
Yeah. Radio Envy. where you hear a song on the radio and you're like,
Envy.
that should be us.
Yeah. So it's
Oh man, like that should be us on the radio. We should sing that song.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's how they.
Yeah.
isn't so. I don't know if that counts, but is that not a homonym? Where
Wait. It's a what?
homonym,
Okay.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
So-
definitely not an onomatopoeia.
Well, it's like read and read,
yeah.
right? So radio NVENVY, radio
Yeah.
NV spelled
Oh
differently, but
yeah. Holy shit, that's so cool. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, same thing.
That's awesome.
I was like, I need to like go in the studio and actually record this.
That's
and
great.
They were like, come, make a cover, and I was like, I got one. It's gonna be great.
yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited for you.
Now, what about originals? Do you have a plan to get original content out there and recorded? And
Yeah, so I think, and I think I'll do it at this studio too when I actually do it. But so I started writing probably, I think I was like 24 maybe, and I came up with some really good stuff, but I didn't have confidence. I was very unsure of myself, and the people that I showed those songs to didn't like them, and they said that.
Okay.
And so to me, I was like, all right, no, I'm not a writer. So I shelved them, and there are a couple of songs that, honest to God, like coming back into them now, they're fucking great.
Yeah.
Like they are really good.
Sometimes they take time.
And it's like, and I'm kind of past the point of the songs now, because I wrote them in my 20s, and they're very much so like for people in their 20s. So I would love to give them to somebody. I don't know. I need to meet with you about it, because I've talked to you about this a little bit. There's some songs I need to work on a little bit with chords and stuff. But yeah, so right now, currently, I'm like, I need to stop asking for people's approval. I need to hone in on, I'm a great writer. I really am. And I didn't have the confidence back then. So I'm starting to get into it, and I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. So the plan is to just keep writing. Rook actually got me a book. He sent me a book in the mail, which I thought was like really sweet.
You mentioned that, yeah.
And it was like write better lyrics. So I'm kind of in the middle of that right now, and it has like a bunch of exercises, and I'm really focusing my time on it.
Was it like a card and you just opened it and it said write better lyrics?
It was
Cool,
like,
thanks,
hey
asshole.
Matt, you suck. Work on it. no.
but it had a
very
Hallmark sticker, so it's,
So
It
he
was
paid
very
like
sweet.
$5.99 for it. Yeah.
sweet. It was very sweet. So I'm working my way through it, but I'm also like, I fight a lot of demons. Like I was picked on a lot. I didn't have a lot of like good friends, and I didn't have a lot of good support when I started coming out with my own original stuff. So that killed me, like not having like somebody be like, oh, this, even if it wasn't good, like be like, you can work on it. Or like, there was no constructive criticism. It was just like, this fucking sucks.
Wow.
And
That's
so
terrible.
it was, and it just
hate
was
that.
like,
It almost
yeah.
makes me wish that I'd met you earlier.
I know.
When I was also writing a lot of our earlier stuff, or when we were writing earlier stuff, where
Yeah.
it's like we could have had this, conglomeration.
Yeah, because like you're not going to be good at it at first. Like you just have to keep going. And it was one of those things where like, I probably could have been a lot better by now, but it wasn't something that lit my fire. It was comments that literally turned my fire out. And it was just like, I need to stick.
sucks.
One of the comments was like, stick to what you're good at, which is just singing and looking pretty. And it's like, okay.
Ew.
Okay.
I have that
yourself.
going for me already.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
would like to also continue to develop my character.
Exactly.
Bacon, you okay?
Yeah, I was just thinking while you were talking about the rejection of it all. Like, even if it doesn't like immediately hurt your feelings that somebody rejects something you do or something like who you are or whatever, it still takes a toll on your confidence. Like, especially when you're younger, like in your teens and 20s.
When you don't know.
Yeah. And it's not until you really know who you are when you're older that it's like that rolls off your back a little bit more.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like as you get older, you get a thicker skin, but like when you're in those like precious years where like you're trying things out or you're putting yourself out there and you just get terrible feedback. And it's like, that's why, and I still do this now. Like I keep things very close to my chest, and I don't really, I was nervous like doing this because like I don't talk about a lot of things that I do because I just want to be like, you'll see it when it happens. Right. Because I don't want people to be like, this fucking sucks. Like say it after it's done. Because when it's done, if I put it out there, like I feel confident on it and I don't care, you know?
yeah.
But don't do it in the process moment. I don't need that.
Well, I love that you're here today.
Thanks.
I love that we're doing this. This is great.
I finally stopped sweating. I don't know if anybody cares.
Thank God.
Can you put it on 62?
Yeah.
No, it's not that. It was just talking about myself is just
okay.
god awful.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Really? Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
The tequila.
How many podcast episodes did you do before?
We just did 10. They were very
Just did 10.
Just did
I
10?
think we've just done 10.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but you
14.
guys know, like it was 10 episodes that I did everything. Like I did everything. I did the setup. I did the breakdown. I did I had to learn how to use Adobe Premiere. I did all of the marketing. I did, and it was not a paid thing.
No.
Like it was.
That's why you made the comment to me
Intense.
how much it takes.
It takes so much. And like, I didn't have the best co-host. I didn't have the best support. I didn't have anything. And I was just like, I want to do this because one, it adds to the things that I'm able to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's teaching me new skills, and I don't like really talking to people. Like I'm not good at it. Like
I'll sing at you, but
literally,
if I gotta
give me
talk
a
to you.
stage and a guitar. But if I just have a microphone, I got to talk to you. Like I'm probably going to octopus my pants. You know what I mean?
That was good. That was really
But
good.
yeah, so it got me out of my comfort zone. My dad had an office in Old Town Alexandria that they did they did radio broadcasting for like presidential candidates. And
Bacon wants to know where.
Yeah, tell me more.
I think it was it was by Princess Street. I don't know. It's still an office and they still do things, but like the equipment they had in there was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we can let you guys use it for a couple weeks. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, there's a green screen. And I was like,
Even better.
I was like, really?
Yeah.
So we went down this whole rabbit hole of like how to put backgrounds on, green screens. And like, it was so freaking cool.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We only had it for 3 episodes though, and we lost it probably because of me. But it's fine.
Oh, it's okay.
It was good though.
Yeah.
Boy, you have not had it easy at all. You have grinded through everything.
Yo,
That is impressive.
Yeah.
I mean,
You gotta hustle.
like how rewarding is it? Like just kind of looking, do you ever look back, especially where, kind of where you've become now? Like, do you ever look back and say, man, I've come a long way.
Dude,
like
you have-
give props to yourself.
You have no idea. I haven't even talked about my day job. Like, no, I work.
That's
work
one of my questions, actually.
so hard. I work so hard, and it's something that like my parents instilled in me. My dad, especially, my mom, especially. They both came from nothing. Like they came from. My mom had the worst childhood you could possibly imagine, and it was just one thing they ingrained. They're like, there's one thing people can't take away from you. Alone, your knowledge somebody can't take, but your work ethic cannot be taken away from you. And I was like, I fucking love that. And I got a 4.0 in college. I worked my dick off.
Tim, what'd you
That
get?
explains a lot.
I didn't get
Tim,
a
what'd you
4.0.
get? Did you work your dick off?
Still can't find
He
it.
still got it. He
Some
still
of it's
got it.
lost, just lost in the abyss.
Yeah, whatever. Donkey.
That's so good.
No, I used to sing opera, and in New York City, I was at an Italian
You
restaurant.
sang opera in New York City?
You guys,
In the Italian restaurant?
you think I'm good at regular music? You should hear me sing opera. It's insane.
Can you and I actually do this at some point? It doesn't have to be right now.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It's
I want to
great.
hear your story first, and then I
Yeah.
get to tell you my story that piggybacks off of the story that you told earlier
Oh.
in this one.
Ooh,
We're doing callbacks now.
Love that.
love. Okay, so I tried to get in.
He's figuring it out.
Is he,
Okay,
is he
I'm in.
girl mathing?
He's
got
got
it.
girl mathing.
The
Got
one, the plus is 3, plus is 4.
Carry the 2.
No, so to get into college, I had to sing opera songs. So I actually
It's a weird college.
I went to Mason too. I never had to do that.
music
It was
school.
so weird.
Music
opera
school.
college. Okay. It was
Music
opera
school.
college.
Music
Okay.
school. I got denied from every music school I auditioned for, by the way. So I don't know how cool this story is. But I had a teacher who was 80 years old, and he lived in the Lansdowne retirement community.
Nice.
His name was Jackson Sheets. R.I.P. He's died. He has since died. But imagine this.
tough.
I was 18 years old. He was 80. And I used to go to his retirement home, and we would sit, and he would play the piano. He used to teach Renee Fleming. Unbelievable dude. And he would, I have we're just talking about cassettes. I have probably over 100 cassette tapes of me singing opera.
Recordings of him playing too?
Him and me doing like actual
my
things.
gosh,
you
that's
guys, it was
incredible.
insane. I mean, he was hardcore. He was like, the first note out of mouth, if it was wrong, stop, restart. Third note in, stop, restart. He would only accept it if it was perfect. And I mean, I probably plugged like, I don't even know how many hours. Like we spent so much time together. So opera was like a big part of my life growing up because like that's how I tried to get into school. It didn't work because I had a problem with auditioning. I would get really nervous. Kind of like how I was nervous at the beginning of this interview. I was talking to Rook. I get nervous every time I go up and perform with Rook too. I don't know why. But I just get nervous. So
because he's so judgmental.
He is, right? Oh my God.
He's got them boots on and he stands so tall.
He's got that Pittsburgh hat on, which fuck Pittsburgh.
Never takes it off.
Amen to
Say that
Takes it
again.
off. It's like, my brother, what is happening right now?
Bacon,
Yeah.
you're such an overachiever.
I know. I'm a C plus. You know.
No, but in New York City one night, I had a friend and she was like, you should get up and like just sing opera. And I was really fucked up. And I got up and I started.
Like, cool.
I was like, I don't think I can do an Italian opera right now, but I started doing like Pasta Fazzoli, Linguini.
I thought you were going to do like,
it was so. I just sat down and she was like,
That's not what I had in mind.
I was like, well, sorry.
cheers.
This is what you wanted.
Get me in the middle of the night, not the end.
this is your fault, not
My
mine.
God. Yeah, sorry.
I was picturing more like the Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to say goodbye.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, no.
So this,
Or Ave Maria.
this teacher of yours, so he said he passed on.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say he's probably the phantom of the opera?
And this has been not exciting, but true.
You got it right. Oh my God. You finally,
That was fantastic. No, I'm sorry.
finally got it right.
So the bit that we have, go ahead and play it.
And this has been not exciting, but true.
So that's Tim. And I used to always say, and this has been exciting, but not true.
And it's like, no, dude, say it right. And he's like, that was right. It's like, no.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
But you finally said it right.
I did.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I put your voice in my head and I was like, think and speak like Timmy. and things will work out for you in
See,
life.
there you go.
Sheesh.
There you go.
So the connection I made with the opera, I too was very nervous and self-conscious about my singing voice when I first started singing. And this is in grade and middle school. So I used to sing with an opera voice in music class and it drove the whole class nuts. I don't think you were a witness to that because
I don't think so.
when I got to high school, I had already established myself in my head. I was like, oh, I can sing. I can do this. But when I was in elementary and middle school, I was like, you know, your pasta visual, whatever
Oh
the fuck.
my God.
So every time that we sang, I would,
Oh my
I would
God,
sing
I
the
love
opera.
that for
and
you.
it made me, like I was already this nervous wreck all the time, but it made me the popular kid in music class because I was always on pitch.
Quit bragging.
And I was,
Literally.
you know,
I didn't know you played soccer.
I was the upper kid.
Oh man.
What are you
I know
looking at my
you were a
profile?
grass fan.
I hate you. Shut up. All right, Bacon,
I'm in the zone. I'm sorry.
you got some questions? Come on.
So you have a spirit animal of an octopus.
I
How
do.
did that start? How did it come about?
There was this moment at McDowell's Beach Bar. And
Which is an awesome place.
an awesome
by the
place.
way.
That was like my neighborhood like spot. And like me and my ex-best friend used to go there. And there was like one day where we were just like, I gotta shit. Like I gotta poop. No, this is like, no, you guys, this is weird.
Bacon wasn't expecting that.
And she was like, we need a code word. And this was just right after my mom and I had made the
Love
code
it.
word
And you're
octopus.
like,
So I was like, I'm
I
just going
have
to say
the perfect
octopus
one.
anytime I got a shit. And she was like, okay, octopus. So that was like the second variation of the word.
Totally going to use that.
That's so
I-
great.
Hey, Bacon, guess what?
I got octopus. Yeah.
I'm just going to say I got a
B.
shit.
So that was the
They have
second
a
thing.
poop emoji.
They, I know.
I mean, come
well,
on.
that was before poop emojis.
Oh, okay.
Octopus.
Sorry.
Poop.
Sorry.
Just send the one.
It was.
One or the other.
What
Yeah.
am I doing?
But then it was like after that, so I must have been like 19, 20. And then after that, it was like I saw octopuses everywhere. I was so curious about them. Couldn't stop. Like, it was borderline obsessive. Not really. I'm not like a psycho, but
You're
like
just hyper focused.
I was.
I mean, there's a lot to learn and understand.
Yeah. And I was like, these things are so freaking cool. And it just became something that I identified with, something that my mom identified with, my sister, and it became just like this. Hey, like they're so good in adversity. They change. They don't, you know, they just get out of things and they're just constantly like evolving. And I just I love that for me because it just same way. And I don't know. It's now becoming part of my branding. I get the amount
which is so cool.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
Like I get people that I don't really interact with that send me messages on Instagram. They're like, saw this octopus and I thought of you. Or like,
Wow.
hey, saw this. Like, hey, did you watch this documentary? Hey, did you read this book? I had somebody send me a book about octopuses. And it's just
Really?
like, it's becoming like a thing. And I actually, Jack and I had a meeting 2 days ago or yesterday, Monday. He's helping me with my rebranding and we're putting like the octopus in it and like
What better person to partner
Right?
with, right?
Yeah.
I know. So it's cool. I feel like it's so much a part of me. I actually flew out. My best friend from high school, who I'm still best friends with, him and I flew out to California to the Pacific Aquarium, and we actually had a play date with an octopus.
That's cool.
Yes, where we were in this tank. Like we weren't physically in it, but we were
Sure.
like right there. We got to feed it. This thing was squirting water at me. It was crawling up on my arm, and it was so cool.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
I can't say I've ever done that.
I know.
That's
It
really
was
cool.
so freaking cool.
Yeah.
So kind of bringing it back to us. So when was the first time you remember seeing us play live?
Honestly, so okay, it was right after COVID, I think. It was kind of after COVID. I came up with like this thing in my head where I was like, I'm not going to say no to any opportunity that comes up with music. Literally the next day, my Facebook Messenger, this guy sends me a message, and it was like honestly crazy because
She pointed at Brian, by the way.
Yes, because
record.
the day before he reached out to me for Beautiful Eyes, I was like, I'm not going to say no to anything that passes my eyes. And he was like, hey, saw you recording a video for my newest single. Can you be a part of it? And I was like, fuck, yep, doing it. And that's how I found
Best
you
day
guys.
of your life.
It was honestly like it was a really cool. So that's how I got introduced to you guys. And obviously the rest is history. But yeah, you guys
Isn't
are my
that wild
favorite.
how that works?
It was like
You just say yes.
it was literally the day before. I was like, I'm not going to say
If
no
I-
to any opportunity.
If somebody has never come out to see a Mackenzie Ryan show, never heard of you, but they see that your name's on the list for where they're going that night, how would you describe to them what your show is?
2 parts. What's your opening song?
All right. So if nobody,
on, right?
if nobody has come to my show before,
What can they expect?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
You're kind of all over the place.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm consistently inconsistent, and I love that. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I can be like a classic rock all day for 3 hours, or I can morph into, all right, I might open up with some classic rock and then I might paint the town with like some Lumineers and Mount Joy and like move into more of like a folky sound, or I might just say fuck it and play like 8 originals that nobody's heard and nobody says anything about it. I don't know. I really and this goes back to like the branding with the octopus. There are no hard edges to me. There are only adaptation and just completely reading my environment. And I love, like, I see one thing I admire about Brian, like when he plays by himself, like it's so organized and like there's a set list and like he will appease people that like request songs and stuff like that. But he's so organized and he has a set list printed out. And I'm like, I don't even know the fuck I'm wearing until 2 minutes before I leave. I have no idea. I thrive on not having a plan. Like if I'm too planned, I don't do well. So people can expect to be completely surprised. There's no shows back to back that are like the other. There's
Which
some
is kind of the beauty of it.
It's great. There's been shows I get up and sing opera. Like it's weird. It's so fucking weird, but it's fun.
You ready for a little this or that?
And now it's time for...
We practice this, guys. I say this part, it's this or that.
This or that.
We've got a long list. It's not a long list.
You're gonna be here for 4 more hours.
We got a list of things that you have to choose from column A or column B. There's no in between. You have to make the hard choice for
You must
yourself.
make the difficult choice.
and,
got it.
And for everything that you love.
Okay.
All right. These are in no particular order.
Okay.
Smoothie or a snack?
What's a snack though?
I mean, he's probably
Anything
about
else?
6'2",
No,
280.
He's about 6'4".
Oh, yeah, it's true. Jack is a snack, and it
Yeah.
rhymes. So
All right.
great
All right.
artist.
I'll go with Jack as a snack. We'll go with Jack.
So you're going with snack?
Yeah.
All right. Apple or PC?
Apple.
All right.
Fuck PC.
Wow.
Sorry. I
That's
just
a
don't know how to
strong
use
opinion.
it. Sorry.
A phone call or an audio message, like when somebody records a text message in an audio format and sends it to you, so you have to listen to their voice anyway. So phone call or audio message,
Sorry.
right? I thought the poltergeist was here.
That was crazy.
Sorry. That was weird. Phone call, except if you're my best friend from high school, Ryan McNay. I love
Okay.
audio messages from him. That's great. That's all how we communicate. Yeah. Okay.
It's cute.
It's very cute. Shout out.
All right, Japanese anime or Looney Tunes?
Looney Tunes. Japanese. What?
I don't know. People
No.
like anime.
Yeah, no, not me.
Okay, we're getting to know you.
Okay.
All right,
Getting to know you.
Getting to know you.
lemon or lime?
Lemon all day, baby.
Wow.
Well, they're both technically the same
Says-
thing.
I says the person that orders lime with everything. Yeah, I start my day with lemon. I'm a lemon person. Yeah.
Wallpaper or paint?
Paint, Jack.
Okay.
Duh.
All right. Travel to Europe or to South or Central America?
Where in Europe though?
Anywhere.
Fuck.
Anywhere in Europe or anywhere in a Latin-speaking country. Southern.
I'll go with Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Italy has my heart. Yeah. Yep.
What do you guys think?
I'm partial to Europe
Yeah.
as well.
But
Agreed.
Have you ever been to southern? I haven't been to South America. So
I
don't
haven't
know.
been, but I hear there's a lot of
Violence.
yeah. There's a lot of people fleeing that part of the country. I hear.
Just stay on the resort. They tell you
stay
to
on the
stay
fucking
on the
resort.
Yeah.
resort.
No, we'll go with Europe.
I mean, I've
We'll go with
always
Europe.
wanted to visit Prague, but I've
Right?
never been.
Yes. Yeah.
Europe has some amazing golf courses. I'll go there.
Yes.
You're in. All right. Apple pie or cherry pie?
Apple pie.
Good at it.
Good girl.
Nice.
No pie. Don't eat sugar. Sorry.
Cut.
Wow. All right. You're out.
Get the fuck out now.
So I had a couple other ones, but I reduced it to this.
Why?
Scrambled or over easy? Eggs. Scrambled or over easy?
Over easy. Make sure they're pasture raised and don't overcook them.
Oh. You work a lot on the marketing and helping businesses and hospitality, but you also are the one on stage. So this is an A or B.
Okay.
Behind the scenes or up front on stage?
Up front, on stage.
Yeah. Is it like
But that was a fight.
do you think it's the kind of
It's where I feel most comfortable.
but is it also the reaction that you get like from, no?
No, I just think that's a better fit for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can clearly do both.
Yeah,
And excel
and I love.
incredibly.
Yeah, I love that. But yeah, upstage on stage.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yes.
Shows coming up.
Do you wanna
and
look at
let's
your
think
schedule?
about like end of July.
Look at your schedule and say
Let's
where
see.
you're playing.
Or if
Yeah.
there's any big
I mean,
events or if there's
every-
any big recordings.
Every
any-
Thursday, I'm at Dudley's Sport and Ale,
All right.
Shirlington Village. If I'm not there, Brian's there. So it's
no,
one
we're
of the
plugging
two.
you, not him.
No, I know, but it's important.
No, it's not. You is who we're plugging.
Shut up,
Timmy.
Tim.
Yes! Finally, somebody else
God.
has the strength to stand up to Tim.
Yeah, jeez, what the fuck? We invited you onto the podcast.
You gotta grab
Okay.
We invited you.
Every Thursday, Dudley's, unless I'm not there, this Jamoke is there. If not, I don't know. Just go to my website.
What's your website?
MackenzieRyanMusic.com.
Heck yeah.
You have an Instagram?
I do. Yeah. The Mackenzie Ryan, not pretentious. It's the only thing that was available.
The Mackenzie Ryan.
Mackenzie Ryan.
All right. Well, it's been great talking to you, Mackenzie. Thank you so much for coming to the
You're so
podcast.
welcome.
It was great.
Heck yeah.
You can check out Mackenzie Ryan at MackenzieRyanMusic.com or at the Mackenzie Ryan, like she just said, on Instagram.
Correct.
And Brian.
This podcast was produced by Bacon Wave Podcast Production in association with Revelry Media Productions. Michael Bacon engineered this podcast. Video provided by Brian Johnson. Snackies provided by Timmy C himself. That's right. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your friends and even your family or anybody, I guess, please. To get in touch with us, send us feedback at PodcastNV.com. Follow us on Instagram at PodcastRNV and on TikTok at podcast.nv. Visit our website at PodcastNV.com. We'll see you soon, baby.